I found the cheapest carburetor on the internet, which came from eBay. This thing just keeps leaking fuel. Fixed this fuel line 100 times. What does that tell you about my fixing? The same spot too. The screwdriver's right here, right where I left it. Well, let's get it into the back. That wasn't even the point of today. Just trying to make a little space to get the truck in the back. Buddy, are you ready? You wanna go for a ride? You wanna go for a ride? All right. There we go. There we go. Line. I don't know why. Somehow I made it across the country, but ever since I hooked up a return to stop vapor lock, I've had nothing but, well, even before that, this front fuel line I've just had a lot of trouble with. So, what should we do, dog? I know you think we should fix it. Look at your steamy dog breath. I'm not chilly in here, bud. I knew I could smell fuel. That's all from just running it. I just was looking in the place that I messed with last, which on this particular vehicle, it was not that spot. You helping him out, bud? Dog loves helping out the fire engines. She loves it. Seem to have fixed it for now, which is a world I've been in before. Hey, we got it. We'll check it later. We'll do some driving. We are actually, that whole process was so that we can get the truck back here because it needs some love. As many of you know, this 65 C10 is and has been my daily driver for over 10 years. I've got 100,000 miles on it, but it's become difficult to start, and that's 98.6723456% my fault. Air cleaner fell off about, oh, I don't know, 8 years ago. It fell off and then I ran it over, and that was that. It was also a tiny little air filter because I put power brakes on this truck, which was a huge upgrade, but that booster's in the way of a normal sized air cleaner. There's a special one that I don't have for C10s. As you can see here, fuel filter has plenty of juice in it. As you see here, I had to wire the choke open. I had to wire the choke open because it getting stuck closed. And then at some point, I set it on fire somehow because of all of that apparatus. We did the right thing and just zip tied it. So now, in cold weather, it's difficult to start. That should surprise nobody. It's a very simple system that has worked for over 100 years that I bypassed because I didn't want to fix the mechanism. So, again, it's my fault. Also, I think the accelerator pump is gone because I can pump it and it's bone dry. That is not my fault. I believe this Rochester monojet one barrel carburetor is original factory equipment. I've never rebuilt it, so maybe it is my fault. Hang on, correct that. It is my fault. I've never rebuilt this carburetor. So we got the accelerator pump is gone. The truck will still run, but like it doesn't like to start because you can't give it the extra juice. Also, when trying to turn the engine over, starter's great, battery's great. It sounds like it has absolutely zero compression. Listen. Still bone dry. Helping to confirm my suspicions that we have no accelerator pump. Still no juice. And that's how I've been starting it for the last 3.5 months. So let's see if we can make that a little more better. Yeah. So I gave it a little bit of time to idle and everything is fine now, and it'll drive down the road. But if I let it sit too long, we'll end up in the same situation, which is a combination of no accelerator pump and no choke. Well, hopefully today we can solve that. Of course, I'm going to attempt to solve it in the most cheapskate way possible. That's right, I bought the cheapest carburetor I could find on eBay, and I bought the whole thing cheaper than I could buy a kit. So buying a Rochester carburetor rebuilt for this truck costs more than buying a small block Chevy engine that's running. I know that's crazy, but I looked up the prices. They were between $300 and $400 for a factory reman carburetor, and the last two V8s that I bought, a 305 and a 350, were both $300. Now, buddy. All right, so that's after the truck sat for about 6 hours on a chilly day. I just got home from work, and yeah, carburetor's here, so figure maybe we can do some working after work with between the trucks, you know. All right, I think the hound dog wants to come along now. Let's go. So here we go. Hey, well, it's got an electric choke. Honestly, I didn't really look much at it. I found the cheapest carburetor on the internet, which came from eBay, 70 American dollars versus... All right, well, my regular work lights are dead, but I have the Woobin X3, X4, and G5. These flashlights are awesome. They're really good gifts for gadget people. Woobin is the first company that ever sent me anything when I had a YouTube channel, and the first thing was like 3 years ago, and it was this, the X3, and I've been using it ever since, and somehow have managed not to lose it. It's awesome. But they recently sent out the X4, which is super cool because it has this side light function. Check this out. Yeah, and they all have magnets so you can stick them to stuff, which I think is super helpful. So I can't say this is exactly what I want to be doing right now, but it's the time I got, and dog's keeping me company. It's not that cold, and it's not raining right now. It's not pulled into the garage in case I screw it up. So if I screw it up, this project goes from like an hour job to much more than an hour job. You know what I'm saying? For anybody that's seen the Camaro videos, these go on the outside of the engine. Somebody learned that the hard way. That somebody was me. Come on, little buddy. There we go. There we go. All right. Need a... You tell him, bud. I was just telling myself, don't drop anything down the carburetor hole, but I didn't tell myself don't drop anything to be lost in the engine forever and ever. Not in the engine, but like, oh, hey, there it is. There's the nut hanging out right there on the heat shield. I gotta get that. I lost it forever. You helping him out, bud? Dog's helping the fireman. That's never coming back. Crap. This is one of the challenges of working tired. You do dumb things. But sometimes it's the only way to get anything done. If this was more dangerous, I would quit. And I just have to not do something very stupid. Right, bud? All right, came with gaskets. It really is 2 bolts, fuel line, and vacuum lines as necessary to your application. Most of the ones on this truck have been deleted. This is a 70s motor. No, this one's not. I changed this out. This is a 60s motor. What does that say when you forget which engine you put in your truck that last time that you had to do the engine? Don't forget your vacuum line. What? Oh, hey. Okay, so there's 3 brackets. That's where the return spring should go. It's all missing from this one, so I bubbaed that up to make that happen. So that's bubba number 1, bubba number B, zip tying the choke open. And bubba number 4 is I had to put a bunch of goop on this bolt so that it didn't just keep drifting as the engine vibrated. This truck still drove itself here. It did not let me down. All I did was treat the symptom, poured some juice down the gap, and we were good to go. Dog, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Hello, dog. That's cool, actually. It's gonna be a problem, though. Dang it. A spacer like that is pretty cool on an engine like this because it's a thermal insulator. That's technical speak for prevents the heat from coming from the exhaust, which is right below the intake manifold. Here's the intake manifold that sucks in fuel and air, and it's above the exhaust manifold, so when you stop the car and you park it and you go to the grocery store, all the heat from the exhaust manifold just rises and boils the fuel in the carburetor like it's a tea kettle. That will still kind of happen, but the spacer stops the direct heat transfer to this aluminum carburetor that's supposed to hold the fuel in here and not boil it all out. There's the bummer of it all. You can see the studs barely come out, so we're not going to be able to start threading the only nut that we have left. So that means I'm in a position where I have to reuse this gasket. It means we'll be starting off appropriately and just bubbling up this brand new carburetor. Yeah. So this is where I keep my gaskets very neatly organized in case of a situation just like this. Hello, carburetor bin. Don't judge me. Well, I just broke it. Crap. It's not a big deal. I'm sure I can get one, but that is exactly why I did not pull this thing halfway into the garage, because I done it, and we are done for tonight. Thank you for joining me on how to turn a 1-hour project into a 2-day project. Welcome to day 2 of our 1-hour project here between the sharks. Just picked up the new gasket from my pals at the O'Reilly's, but I can feel it. It's also thick, but I think maybe a little thinner than the one that came with the carburetor. So, yeah. Oof, I don't know. Marginally. Dang it. Dog, is that your squirrel pals? 3rd time's the charm, maybe. Mobetta? Yeah, now we're talking. That works. See, if that had happened last night, we'd almost be done. But remember last night when I dropped that nut somewhere below the truck? Yeah, it's still down there, maybe, if it fell out the bottom. I need it. I tried to find my lost nut, but it remains lost. Gang, I'm kicking my own butt today. I lost it, but now I found it. I still haven't found the nut, but I solved that. I didn't know I could push this bushing out, but I found a way. Jeez, let's try again. How are you in there so tight? So many moons ago, I rewired this truck in a very riveting video. You can find that here on the YouTubes, but I kept the wiring diagram with me, and not with me, you know, I don't carry it around every day, but I leave it in the truck because that's where the wires are. So this diagram, it has 2 additional accessory switches or accessory wires, so those should be keyed on. So we should be able to run one of those for our brand new fancy electric choke. Now, this trim it off. All right, so now we got to try to run it. We're going to run it right out of the box, or at least attempt to see what happens. Obviously, it's not been tuned or anything like that. Have your fire extinguisher close by. I can just whoosh, yank on that. That's where it lives on this truck, but it's no joke. Have a fire extinguisher. Whoa! Whoa! Choke opened up. Whoa! Whoa! That's incredible. Wow. Dog's excited about it too. I mean, gang, that fired up like immediately, which you saw all the times I tried to move it just back here and how I had to pour gas down the app. Between the choke and probably the accelerator, I didn't even pump it actually. That was just fuel coming through for the first time, filling the bowl and then firing it off. I gotta say, I'm pretty jazzed about that. Day 3 of our 1-hour project. Got a couple little Brown Dog coffee. You can find your own little Brown Dog coffee mug at the Pretty Good Junk division right here between the sharks. There's a link in the description. Fourth wall shop. Well, it's 34 degrees, so I thought I would just see if it'll cold start with this new carburetor. That would typically be a very, very long process. All right. Hey, bud, you want to go for a ride? You want to go for a ride? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. It's doing great. Like what? I don't know why I didn't think it would work. Truckmobile is back in business as always. Thank you guys for watching Between the Sharks. I appreciate it very, very much. The truck is mo better, so good luck on your projects out there, and you know, hopefully you can make something mo better, even if your 1-hour project takes 4 days. All right, we'll see you next time on Between the Sharks.